So, happy to welcome you to the second last session today. We're real-time riders, and what we've created is a loyalty program for urban mobility based on blockchain technology. So let's have a look at the provider landscape in urban settings, right? Some years ago we only had like this very common old standard providers, but nowadays we have like this huge amount of different providers, and actually it's almost like a jungle where you have to navigate through these different options you have all day. And one problem here is that you're not really rewarded for being loyal to one of these providers, right? So that's one problem for the consumer. On the other hand side, there's a problem, and a business problem for the providers themselves. With these new technologies and all these app-based shared mobility services, there's no real accurate way of advertising and targeting the users. So if you have a look into into one rider, right? This guy, for example, has been a loyal Uber customer so far, but then after a while he drops using Uber. And in fact, if you have a look at the incentive curve, it would have been enough to incentivize here with a little bit of money instead of here, where you really have to push hard to get this guy back to using Uber again. So actually, we have the technology here to find the sweet spot, to pinpoint and target these customers at the right point in time. That's for the providers, but now you have to incentivize and give the incentives somehow to the customers, and there is where the blockchain comes in, right? So what we've created here is a loyalty program based on blockchain, so you get like tokens as rewards when you're staying loyal with some providers. And then you can also use these tokens for credits again with ride discounts. Yeah, and let's show you how it looks like.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, let's jump into the demo. So what we can see here is our simulation of basically the orange dots display providers that where a simulation in the background runs for us, and the blue dot is basically like our real-time location now. And basically based on real-time location and sensor information from the rider, if we scroll up, now we can actually suggest proactively basically like when to kick up this bidding process for providers. Now when we ask basically like, okay, are you interested in actually like accepting a ride, we can kick off, or we can write now this ride request into a smart contract based on Ethereum, where now different providers can bid on it. And then now to the rider, the rider again receives now different proposals from these providers. And we can see here that the current token balance. Now, if the rider accepts finally actually the provider that he chooses to take for this ride, the token balance increases. That all works really. Actually, it's a working solution in the background. Then finally, if we click one more step further, we can actually see the final rewards. And if we switch back there, that's basically all the technology stacks that we used. We definitely learned a bunch in addition to the technologies that we were already familiar with. So yeah, it's a typical React Redux, but a ton of data visualization and the kind of tooling set, which is really interesting for Francesca and me to kind of actually dive into the tooling set for all the Ethereum framework.
Okay, what we actually did was to build a UI that you just saw, and from the UI you can make a ride request. So we built a mobility market smart contract that has all the ride requests. And then it fires an event to a provider marketplace. This is a Node.js backend, and this can call provider APIs, and we simulated these APIs. So in the future, you would simply put in the data for the ride, and then the provider can bid on that and give you a certain amount of tokens for incentivation. So when the proposals are collected, they are put into the smart contract and published to the UI. And the user can select the match, as you have seen, and then a transfer of this ERC20 token is done and put to the user. So what we plan for the future would be to build an ML prediction engine that can predict when you need a ride. So you don't have to opt in for a ride and click yes, but the system will find out which ride is the best for you and when you need it. I mean,
and really quick, just as an outlook, You can see it on the screen.
Corporate affiliation now.
No, BMW, okay.
And let me just reset. And your go for questions.
Sorry, where did you start?
We didn't start from scratch, but we used Truffle and had a high velocity of prototyping, so.
We first had the idea of actually focusing on the kind of the real-time detection on top of the sensor data, but then we thought it's actually also from a basically like what actually that makes sense from a business perspective. We focus on more the downstream, the marketplace, the bidding process, and that's why we chose that here. But we are aware that on the sensor data, actually like IOTA definitely would be basically like our next steps actually.
And what's the advantage over Miles and More?
You get a token that you can share between the providers. So this is interesting that you are not catched in one provider, but you simply can just use it for mobility. So if you're a mobility provider.
So another benefit is here that as we are focusing on this urban mobility setting, we can also really target and also like create the data which is really necessary for these urban mobility settings. It's a totally different thing if you have like one trip per, I don't know, month or so where you go from one city to the other, than actually having real-time data about like who moves where within the city. It's a currency for the bonus program, right? So it's like the miles and miles and more. This is like our urban miles in our program.
So Uber is charging different prices depending on the time or so, and you are charging different prices depending on what other car is available.
Right. So one thing that we figured out is that basically interfering with the providers' dynamic pricing models, dynamic pricing models, that's really difficult. And like providers don't really want to, like they're not super open to interfere with these additional things. But this is basically a super lean approach to create this other incentive model.